Hey everyone, it's Henry here. Um, I have a '05 Camry. It's a stick with a 2.4. So since those little motors, they're not good at all. I always have a head gasket problem on the head bolts. The threads on the block they strip. So I figured I could replace the engine. Put a 3M C5 V6. Actually got a transmission already. Took everything out. I got an automatic transmission. Actually, I'm not gonna make it automatic, but I run into a huge problem. Huge problem. I got an engine. So the engine is, like I said, 3M Z-Fay, and low miles, 85,000 miles. Runs good because I could see it runs really good. I've seen it before. But the cars were stopped for like 4 months, and he would just stop on the car. So I decided to take the whole engine out. I had a good chance to take the whole engine out with transmission and everything and transfer it. Well, I wasn't gonna transfer it yet. I wanted to replace the timing belt, the water pump, and all of the stuff. So once I was in the process of replacing the timing belt, I get to the engine, and once I'm done replacing the timing belt and everything, I turn the, you gotta turn the revolutions probably like 3 or 4 times to make sure. Well, I turn it 3 times, and I'm turning it 1 extra time, and the engine gets stuck. I'm like, oh wow, I'm hitting valve, I'm hitting stuff. What did I did wrong? Like, I make sure this turned correctly, and it turned already like 3 times. So I'm not sure. So you can see I already converted to automatic in the inside. Have a bunch of parts in here which is not done yet. So I'm with the engine, checking everything out. I spent 2 days trying to figure out what's the problem, because the engine keep getting stuck. I can go like 160 degrees and then go back 160 degrees because it gets stuck. I can either go forward 160 degrees or go backwards 160 degrees. So here's what I end up. I checked the oil pan. Nothing is wrong on the oil pan down there. So I took the midsection oil pan, which is in the bottom too, and nothing is wrong. So I took the piston out. I had to end up taking the whole head out to figure out what was wrong with this engine, because the valve wasn't hitting, nothing was hitting. So I'm going crazy figuring out, like, wow, this is something crazy. So I already figured out what's wrong with this motor, and it could have been an easy fix if I would have have other tools. But I was kind of trying to be easy and slow instead of damaging something, because I was trying to figure it out. Since I can fix it, there's not a problem. But I hated that I had to disassemble this whole engine just for that. So you can see the pistons, they're really good because I just cleaned them. But this side was worse. So look at what happens to this engine. Once it sticks for a little time, look at that. And look at that. Look at that in here. You see the crumbles, all of that stuff get stuck in the head, and it won't let the engine turn. See that? That's a big piece. That's not just a little piece. That's a big piece. So if the engine is to this side, everything gonna shift to this side. The engine was to that side a little bit, so everything shifted to this side and to the other side. You can see this is not little. This is a big piece. This gets stuck into your pistons and to your head, and your head will not turn. Your crank will not turn. This was a big mistake. I did not know about this. Well, it wasn't a mistake because you know, it's just something that you will never think it will happen, but it does happen in this engine, because I guess this engine creates a lot of how do you call it, sludge or whatever in the piston. I know they created in the oil, but I didn't know about the piston. So you can see I've been trying a little slowly up and down, and that's what was hitting. It was just hitting, and all this cake stuff, it collects. Imagine, all of this collects right there. You see all of this thing collects right there. Sorry, my hand is all dirty because I've been working here, you know. It's been taking me time to figure out without damaging stuff and doing it properly. But this engine, if you find this engine stuck, you might as well start tearing things down, because that's the only reason it will get stuck. You can see this is some serious thing. Look how thick all that. Imagine that collects. It collects down there, and then it bumps into your head, and let's see. It bumps into your head, and as you can see, let's see, it's right here. You cannot see it. You cannot see it, but look at all of that crumbs right there. Oh yeah, you can barely see it. That is crazy. That's where this piston was hitting. The piston was hitting right here. Piston was hitting right there and right here. Nothing with the valve, because the valves are deep in. This block, if the timing belts gets damaged, it will hit the valve, yes. But once the valves are open, if they're closed, it will not hit it because it has enough clearance inside. But look at that. If you can see that, this is a huge problem. I was never thinking about this was gonna happen to this engine. I ended up taking it out because I thought it was, well, something must be in there stuck, like a piece of metal or something. But trust me, nothing. This engine is like perfect. This you can see the cylinder heads, they're really clean and everything. It's just it has that was the only problem. It had the problem with the pistons. The piston was all that dirty stuff in there. You know, since a car sits for a while, and then you turn the pistons and stuff, that happens. All this dirtiness gets out because it starts flaking up. All that. So, for whoever run into this problem, this is it. All this sludge on the pistons. .3MZ Fay. Perfect engine. I hated that I had to take it out for this. If I would have known that this was the problem, I could have put some WD-40 or some oil and kind of make it bubble and clean it up or something. Like make it bubble with air inside, you know, with a hose or something where it kind of move it around and then vacuum it or do something. This is the best way you can do. But this is crazy. This engine is brand new. This engine has 80,000 miles. The head gaskets are brand new. This is good head gasket. This is not the stupid Felpro head gaskets. And they're gonna cost me $150 each. Imagine that. I didn't want to take this engine apart because I know this engine was 100% good, but I guess this happens. And all that sludge in there, it won't let the piston come up fully because it's heading with the head already. So I will have to put everything good to this engine, and it's a good thing. At least I'm doing the head gasket over, which I don't need it, but whatever. I know everything is gonna be fresh. And I had to take out the head and all of that stuff. This is just for somebody who have this problem, and I know somebody's gonna run to this problem. But that's it, my friend. I will get everything done and make the Camry a V6. It's a nice looking Camry, and it has a brand new paint job and stuff like that. So that was just my problem. I know somebody's gonna run to this problem since I run into it, and that's it. So alright guys.